Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Alien Addict on... It's quite a sad evening because I have just found out today, after watching Rich's latest show, Goof On, that Caroline has sadly passed away, who has been such a great supporter of the channel, the UFO community. So my condolences go out to each and every one of you, her family, and everybody in the community, because she will be sadly missed. So Carol, bless you, my love. You were amazing. And yeah, sad times for that. Stu, we've just been speaking about Carol.
We have. Condolences to our family, and good evening, everybody. How are we all doing?
And it's people like Coral. I've never been able to say Coral's name. I always say Carol because
I do the same thing. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's people like Coral in the UFO community that keep it solid. I never saw her start any sort of beef with people or anything like that. She stayed kind of neutral across the board and just supported the community and the channel. So I just starting the show.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a sad start to a show, but I don't care. You know, she was such a rock for this community.
Yeah, no, she was one of these people that she sat on the fence. She was nice to absolutely everybody, and she always was very welcoming to me, like going to your show, or the odd time she moderated your channel, or on Rich's show more so. You know, she's always got something nice to say, and everybody who comes on to whatever channel she's moderating, she always welcomes them.
We want more people to be like Coral, you know, and just be solid for the community, because that's what we need. Stu, USOs.
I know we're going to talk about it finally tonight.
Yeah, we may mention the report, though there's not much to mention that you've not read yet.
I haven't read it yet.
I've not read it. I just listened to Rich read it.
Right.
But yeah,
I take it he wasn't happy about it then.
I don't think anybody is. Even UFO Jesus. You know, I listened to, is it Ryan?
Yeah.
He didn't sound impressed either. So I could see this happening.
Yeah, I mean, what were they expecting?
It's really weird though, because Lee said to me last night. Was it last night? Yeah, he said to our group chat between me and Dave. He went. What did he say now? He said on Twitter. He said something like, "I can feel something's going to drop UFO wise, just to cover up Joe Biden's big fuck up with these documents." And lo and behold, the report gets released.
Yeah. No, it's quite funny. No, I haven't read it yet. I'll scan through it at some point and go on watch. I'll watch Rich and see what he's saying about it at some point. But
I'll tell you what. We'll you know, before we get into the nitty gritty, because I don't think we'll get Rich to quickly explain it. So you kind of get a gist for it. So here you go, Stu. Just for you.
Just for me.
Yeah, see if you like it. You know, at least we tried. I think you'll do great, Mike. Mike is right. All right, here we go. UFO report. 2022 annual report on. Now, this is the continuation of what happened last year. So, you know, here we go. Table of contents. executive summary, Arrow and Odney says that I'm not going to read all this. All it says is that UAP reporting is increased, enabling a greater awareness of the airspace and increased opportunity to resolve UAP events. In addition to the 144 UAP reports covered during the 17 years of UAP reporting, including in the Office of the Director of National Intelligence preliminary assessment, there have been 247 new reports and another 119 that were either since discovered or reported after the preliminary assessment's time period. So this totals 510 reports as of August 30th, 2022. Additional information is provided in the classified version of this report, which you and I do not see. See? Feel better now? It's not just us, it's everybody. Arrow and Odney assess that the observed increase in the UFO reporting rate is partially due to better understanding of the possible threats that UFOs may represent, either as safety of flight hazards or as potential adversary collection platforms, partially due to reduced stigma surrounding UAP reporting. This increased reporting allows more opportunities to apply rigorous analysis and resolve events. So, they continue to occur in restricted or sensitive airspace, highlighted possible concerns for safety of flight of adversary collection activity, blah, blah, blah. Scope and assumptions. The annual report is provided by ODNI in response to a requirement established in Section 1683 of the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, for fiscal year 2022, establish of office, organizational structure, and authorities to address UFOs. Subsection 8 states, the Director of National Intelligence, DNI, in consultation with the Secretary of Defense, SECDEF, shall submit to the appropriate congressional committees a report of unidentified flying objects. In addition to responding to the required elements enumerated in the NDAA, this report details the establishment and coordinating effort between ODNI and the newly created DoD Arrow. This report provides an overview for policymakers of UFOs that have been reported since March 5th, 2021, information cutoff date for OVNI's preliminary assessment of UFOs, published 25 June 2021. Per the NDAA, Arrow delivers quarterly reports on UAPs to policymakers that contain greater detail regarding analysis and attribution of UFOs. So this is it? This can't be it. This just states what they're doing. 26, all right, so look, they repeat everything over and over. 144, March 2021, 119, we got a total of 510. They repeated everything again right here. Okay? They also repeated Arrow has formulated and started to leverage a robust analytic process against identified UAP reporting. Huh? I formulated and started to leverage a robust analytic process against identified UAP reporting. Hold on a second. Identified UAP? Identified unidentified aerial phenomenon? Now I know this was written up by the left. Sorry, I had to go there. I know, it probably makes sense, but it doesn't. How can it be?
Yeah, you get the gist. It's
Is Richard on the Red Bull?
I literally, I've speeded that up, but how Rich is an insanely fast reader, and anybody is to me, but I was listening to his show today in the car, and it's just a load of nonsense. It's stuff that we've already heard of over and over again. There's just nothing exciting there. So I honestly thought when it dropped and I saw that it dropped overnight, I thought this is going to be brilliant because we can talk about the USOs. There may even be USOs in this report, but yeah, it's just a load of old poo. Yeah. So
there we go. That was funny.
No, I don't think anybody's impressed with it in the community, and if you are,
I don't think anybody in the community is going to.
Please explain it to me like I'm 5.
I don't think anybody in the community is going to be impressed with it at all, ever, until they literally put up pictures of Joe Biden shaking the hands of a grey or something, It's like get his arm around them or whatever. I don't know, but until there's the kind of disclosure that people are wanting, I don't think anybody's ever going to be happy with it. But we shall see.
That you do know that disclosure will never happen. Where
you'll
and if it does, it's deep fake, people.
Yeah.
But yes, Stu, we've been talking for quite some time now. So one of the main things that interests you when it comes to UFOs, which is exactly why I have kept saying to Stu, we'll get a show done on aliens in the ocean, the USOs, and also at some point, a friend of yours may be coming on the show.
Yeah, an old friend. I mean, I haven't actually seen him properly in quite a number of years, but I do keep in touch with him via Twitter and stuff. And his name's John, and we're going to try and get him on because we're
not saying his surname until he agrees to come on.
Yeah,
you haven't asked him yet.
Well, I've kind of tentatively dropped hints, but he hasn't committed. At the moment, he's working offshore, so He's a deep sea diver. He saturation dives for the oil rig, big oil companies, BP and stuff like that. Plus, I think he actually teaches. I wouldn't be surprised if his teaching involves like Navy SEALs and stuff like that. I mean, he's been in it for years and years and years, and he's getting to the stage now where he's just physically going to get to the point where he just can't do it any longer, because I think he's about 10 years past of when normally, saturation divers are not old. They've got to be really physically fit.
And isn't there something where they can only kind of do it for so long until it? Have I got that wrong from early diving?
Yeah, I don't know the whole ins and outs of it. I mean, I know like the stuff that he does is really deep, and they do live in effectively like underwater habitats for periods of time, and they'll literally get lowered down to the habitat. They'll acclimatize down there, and then they'll start doing their job, and they'll stay in the habitat, and this can be literally a couple of 1,000 feet underneath or more underneath the ocean, and they breathe, I think it's a helium oxygen mix, because if they did the nitrogen and oxygen mix, it would be too much.
Quick one. Did you meet is it John?
Yeah.
Did you meet him through your old job, photography, or?
No. I went to school with the guy. I went to
okay.
school with him. I literally, we went through primary school and then the academy, senior school together.
So how did the conversation start with UFOs?
I started, I don't know what video it is. There's a video that's like deep underwater, and it's quite a weird shaped sort of squid / octopus type creature that's got very long legs.
Was it the giant one when they first released they showed the giant squid?
Yeah. So I started, poking the bear and seeing, what have you seen underneath the ocean kind of thing. And I mean, one of my favorite films of all time is The Abyss.
Oh, what a film.
Yeah, classic film. And obviously a lot of the stuff that they portrayed in that, I mean, they did actually film in a big massive tank that was, I think, a decommissioned nuclear power station or whatever, and the stuff that they were doing was, quite accurate to.
I think the thumbnail might be off The Abyss. I'm not sure. Maybe
could be. But this is the thing I was saying to you just before we started going live. Like, a lot of the work that they would traditionally do is now being taken over by robots, ROVs and stuff like that, because obviously these things can get built to go really, really deep. But the problem they have, even with divers, is they've got to be tethered, because there's just no way of sending a radio signal down there to communicate with it like you would a drone above the surface. So they are tethered, but it has to be. I mean, they always say, like, Alaskan crab fishermen have the most dangerous job in the world. I mean, there's only like 300, 500 guys that do this worldwide out of thousands and thousands of divers. So it's a really niche community that do it.
So your friend, so you asked him if he'd seen anything weird out there. What was the? Just to let everybody know in the chat, I actually don't. Whenever I get people on, I've known Stu for a while now, but even if Lee wants to tell me something, I tell him not to blow his load before the show.
Save it for the show,
because I want it natural to naturally hear it. So I have not heard this.
Well, the one story that I can paraphrase is the one that's actually probably closest to what you see in the movie of The Abyss. He was underneath a rig, and it was one of these fixed rigs, an older one, where like the huge massive pylons that you see that support like the derrick and all the infrastructure of the actual oil rig is bolted down to the sea bed, whereas now I think they effectively like have them almost floating, and they're secured, but they have a certain amount of movement. And he was down there doing welding or something, and he was as far away from his habitat as you could possibly be, he said. And you've got to remember, once you go down a certain depth in the ocean, it's pitch black. And if the currents are really heavy, all sorts of crap gets stirred up. So visibility is like non-existent. It's like a couple of feet, at most. And sometimes it's not even that. So it can be really, really bad down there. So he's obviously communicating with these dive master or whatever they call them at the surface, and there's obviously other technicians are keeping an eye on their oxygen and helium mix and their airflow and the electronics and the communication, just to make sure that nothing's getting snagged or tangled up. And I think they even have sensors along the cable to know exactly where it is, and they can tell if it's looped or caught or snagged or anything like that. Because there has been like horror stories of large like cargo ships going above them and them having loose cable that's the tide or underwater tides have floated up, caught up with the prop, and basically dragged them and sucked them into the prop of the ship and made them into mincemeat. So it's a very dangerous job. But anyway, he was underneath one of the rigs one time, no visibility. He was the only person supplying light, and then all of a sudden there was a lot of very bright orange light behind him.
What, coming from below, did he say?
Below, yeah, literally behind his head. He literally could see, like, the rays of the light penetrating through. And when he turned round, the orange light had already started to kind of disappear and go back. And then it just shot away at high speed. And he to this day
but it was just light.
Yeah, it was just, all he saw was, and I'm not even going to say like an orb, it was literally just a blob shape of light, because obviously, it depends on what the light's hitting to what shape it's going to be. But he literally just saw an orangey blob of light behind him. It was powerful enough to light up him and a few feet in front of him, or several feet in front of him. It lit up the whole area effectively, and all the mud and crap and everything around the rig. And I think even at this point he was near one of the pylons, the supports of the rig, and it lit up that. And when he turned around, as fast as you can probably turn around underwater, he saw it basically disappearing, and then it shot off. And he to this day hasn't got a clue what he saw. And there's like other divers have got stories like that constantly. You get them saying they've seen just things or whatever.
They've just seen light.
Yeah, they've seen lights, or they've had an unexpected like cross current, almost like a riptide, but underneath the water, where they've literally been knocked over, and it's like, the wake of a boat, but underneath the water. So something has passed them at, a hell of a rate of knots, with enough force to knock them over.
The Abyss wasn't Steven. It wasn't Steven Spielberg, was it? It was
Jim Cameron.
Yeah,
Avatar dude.
Because I know, because Spielberg did. He has a big interest in UFOs, but I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I always think that, especially Spielberg, because like with Close Encounters and that, I think for every bit of fiction that are in his alien or extraterrestrial movies, there's maybe a grain of truth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got information, and it's being slowly drip fed out to the masses. And I think Jim Cameron's a bit like that as well, because when you look at the creatures they created for that, I mean, at that point, we hadn't discovered a lot of the creatures that basically generate their own light chemically.
Well, I mean, my dad, I mean, I'm not going to tell the UFO story. Everybody's heard my dad's UFO story over and over. I will get my dad in an interview to tell that story, but he saw lots of light out at sea, but a lot of it was algae.
Yeah.
You know, as the ship would go through. I know that's a lot lower, but
Yeah, you get it. There's quite a few beaches
so
in the
some
north
of
of
the
Scotland that you can see like the algae will wash up and it's
they
glows.
did. Yeah, I think some of it can glow orange as well. Obviously, so do you remember the planes that spotted the big orange glow? Do you see that?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So they tried to say that was ships stirring up the algae, and I showed that to my dad, and I said, "Dad, is this what they would possibly see from a plane?" And he's like, "No, that's far too big to be. I mean, it'd have to be a load of ships to do that." So yeah, I mean, that was orange as well.
Right, I didn't know that. I mean, that's
Or no,
bizarre.
red.
But
red. I think it's
no.
red.
John definitely described this as being a really bright orange. You know, he basically said, you know, like the orange you get in like the Irish flag. That's how he described the shade of orange, really bright orange, and very, very strong. Almost to the point of, you know, obviously his diving suit is internally heated. You know, there's a water system runs around it to keep them, you know, warm because it's freezing cold down there, obviously.
Same with spacesuits.
He basically, after it happened, the technician above, who obviously didn't know anything that had happened, got a warning on the suit to say it had crept up 3 or 4 degrees in temperature instantaneously. So
That's
whatever light hit his diving suit, you know, had enough radiation or whatever to warm up his suit internally.
Is this the only thing that he's seen out there?
No, he's seen more than that, but that's the only one that he's told me in any great detail. And it was years ago, actually, he told me. I'm lucky I'm kind of remembering some of it because there's more. Like we definitely have to get him on because he's just such a good. As I said to you already, like before we came live, he's a right. Not so much now that he's older because we're both in our late 40s, but he's very much a kind of adrenaline junkie, you know, live wire nutcase.
You have to be to do a job like that.
Yeah, but he tells a good story, you know, and especially if he's been involved with it, you know, whether it's a pub fight in Dublin or whatever, or you know, something happening underneath the water. He's entertaining to listen to, and we need to get him on because he's got other stories like that, and I think he's heard from other divers. So he's probably got quite a few stories that he's told in the past, you know, or like has that he's spoken to. Because obviously these guys, I think they work in a team of 3 or 4. In very cramped conditions in these habitat things that are underneath. They're not big at all, and they have, you know, food, you know, bunk beds and, you know, toilet facilities, and that's kind of it. And then a space where they can obviously get in and out of their diving suits and stuff, and store their equipment and whatnot. But they obviously have to spend a lot of time together, so they, you know, talk. So they do.
I mean, I know he told you it shot off at quite a fast speed, but it would be. I wonder how fast. You know, that
the way he described it at the time was it was. This is showing my.
Was this when you were in person, or were you like on a?
No, this was in person. This was like in the 90s. He sort of told me this. He said it was like an Escort XR3i. Remember those?
Yeah.
Scooting off from the traffic lights. That's what he described.
That's a car for anybody in America.
Yeah,
I don't think they have Ford Escorts.
So I know I don't think they have them, but yeah, it was a Ford Escort. It was an XR3i, SR3i,
something like that. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, yeah, XR. He said it was like an XR leaving the lights in a rush,
which is a nice boy racer car at the time.
Yeah. That's how he kind of described it to me. So I thought, right, I mean, that's something that's moving from 0 to 60 in under 10 seconds, you know.
I mean, so when you do get down to those depths, there are creatures that light up and what have you, but I don't know if there's anything from what your friend from. I know it's coming from your friend through you. Anything that would light everything up orange that I can think of on David Attenborough.
No, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, you get like cephalopods, squids, and stuff like that can illuminate. You've got anglerfish. I mean,
however, I will say
there's thousands of species we probably haven't discovered.
Yes, that's what I'm going to say. So, I mean, is it alien, or could it have been something that might have been checking out what were going on and got spooked? Because I'm assuming he also would have had lights on.
Yeah, I believe his helmet would have had 2 big lights at the side and 1 big light up above. So it was like a triple set of lights to illuminate his working area.
If it say it is a creature of some kind and he sees this like glow coming towards him and then looks down with the helmet, that might have freaked it out.
Yeah,
so
I
who
mean,
knows?
If he's turned round relatively quickly, I mean, I don't know how fast you can turn round when you're underneath water in a big heavy diving suit, but even, you know, relatively quickly turning around and the lights turned and, you know, the beams have gone, yeah, it's going to attract its attention, probably scare whatever it was. But I don't think it was anything like algae, obviously, because algae can't shoot off
sneak
at a
up
rate
on
of
you.
knots, you know, and sneak up on you. So, I mean, he doesn't know what it is. I mean, to this day, but I think there's loads of these saturation diver guys that have got stories of seeing things and experiencing things that just don't get reported, because at the end of the day, it's a bit like the pilots, you know, in the Navy who are going up in the sky and seeing tic tacs. They're only recently getting to the point where they can now report stuff and not be ridiculed. You know, you can just imagine the oil rig roughneck community, these guys eventually coming back out of the water and their decompression and going on about aliens and stuff like that. They would get stripped out of them.
I did a few shows. I've had Thomas from Mars Moon Space TV on a few times, and he worked really closely with the guys that was going out to investigate the Baltic Sea anomaly.
Oh, the Millennium Falcon underneath the water.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is. I mean,
Did they ever get to the bottom of what that was? Because they never gave up the location.
No.
So
there's some people thought that it might have been an old sunken steamboat. You know, the ones that have the circular.
Yeah, the big paddle steamer. Things. Yeah.
That, but how it looks when they went down there, and it's so murky. It looks like some sort of rock formation. So I need to get Thomas back on it. From what Thomas has told me, because he speaks to the team that do the dives regular. Well, he did do, but it was so expensive, these dives, that I think the budget just ran out to actually.
Yeah, it was costing them like $250,000 a day or something. I seem to remember.
No, I think it was 20 grand a day.
Was it 20 grand a day?
I for some reason I got 20 grand in my head, but I think like for an expedition, for like a week, it was something like $250,000. Yeah.
Right, maybe that's where I'm getting it from. But I mean, I know he hasn't given up the location, but I mean, there has been like reports of divers seeing weird things in the Baltic Sea. I mean, that is like it's obviously a big, you know, chunk of water, and there has been sort of things seen there periodically that kind of make you wonder. I mean, the thing that kind of gets me is the fact that 2/3 of this planet is underwater. They reckon maybe 85% of it now hasn't been mapped, so we're only mapped about 10-15% to any great degree.
It's insane.
You know, we've got scans of like topographical scans of like, under the water, but to no great detail. So like it just
here's the thing though, Stu. It when it comes to the cost of it, so you imagine if a private company wants to do it that's got, I mean, it'd be nice if Elon did something underwater. Has he done
you get any money left?
Maybe not. But yeah, it'd be nice if some of these companies that keep doing all the rockets into space might actually go, well, let's spend a little bit of money on. I believe they probably have, and we just don't know about it. You know.
Well, I remember on Joe Rogan, when Christopher Mellon did his interview with Joe Rogan, he said that, you know, we've got the capability to scan the ocean floor, but it just comes down to time and money to what detail we go to. And obviously, the more detailed the scan, the slower they've got to do it. So they can only do small proportions of the ocean at any one time. I mean, the Pacific Ocean, I just looked this up today, it's 60 million square miles in the Pacific alone. I mean, that's just unbelievable. You just can't fathom those kind of numbers. And the deepest part of it, obviously, is the Mariana Trench, or the Challenger Deep within the Mariana Trench, which is 36,000 feet. Now, Everest is only like 29,000 feet or something high. So this is obviously deeper than Everest. And there's just so much room down underneath the water that you could have a whole civilization down there that we've never ever met. And the reason why I lean towards USOs rather than UFOs is obviously spacecraft, you know, your Bob Lazar sports model and all these kind of things, they've got to travel at the speed of light or beyond the speed of light to reach us. And even doing that, it can still take a vast amount of time to come from one side of the galaxy to the other.
Well, that's what we assume.
That's what we assume. The only thing after that is like obviously like wormholes, Einstein, Rosen bridges and stuff like that, you know, where they're folding space. But that's all theoretical. So that's why I kind of lean towards, well, maybe some of these tic tacs and craft that we're seeing, yes, they're coming from 80,000 feet, but they probably maybe started underneath the water or coming up to have a look and see what's going on and then going back down. Because
I think we are establishing that the tic tac very slowly is ours.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So yeah, but what that's based off?
Lockheed Martin at its best, Skunk Works, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, I would agree. If I had to put a bet on ufology, why anybody would do that would be crazy. But if I had to put any bets on it, it would be that it could be quite possibly coming from the ocean, whatever it is. Was it always from the ocean? No, but if they want to be hidden, what better place?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got
maybe there was a clue, Stu, in Flight of the Navigator when that thing hid under.
That's true. Yes.
Do you remember that scene when it's like, where do we go? They keep scanning it in the air, and it just shot straight under the ocean.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing that I think about is like, take London, right? London as a city, inside the sort of M25, which is the motorway or highway that goes around the edge of London. It's 607 square miles, right? The highest building in London is just over 1,000 feet, and that's the Shard. Okay? You drop London into the middle of the Pacific Ocean and just see how utterly pinprick small it actually is compared to the rest of the ocean. So if you can hide a whole city that's got how many millions of people live in London? 15, 20 million or something?
I have no idea. A lot.
Yeah, huge amount. I mean, it's in the millions. You know, if all these people can exist in London with all these different buildings and things going on and underground and blah, 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 and you imagine if you could transplant that into the ocean somewhere, you know, down about 10,000 feet, we're never going to know they're there. I mean, you literally could have a whole civilization underneath there. You would never see, because, you know, they have a whole network of ways of traveling under the water, because we're just the wee earth dwellers, you know, land dwellers at the top. So that's what I kind of think it kind of comes to.
I think Richie G's coming on.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Yeah,
He
just says, "Be right there, be right there." What's that off now? But yeah, if I do think, if anything, if there is something down there, that's the best place. Forget the moon unless you're on the dark side. But let's face it, they went to the moon quite a few times. What, 7 times to the moon?
Apollo 11 through 17, 6 or 7 times. Yeah.
Yep. You're telling me in all that time they didn't put a base there?
Well, us.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense just to go up there and get a few rocks and do a few laser samples and what have you. That makes no sense. If it would make sense to get something up there, so we've got satellites up there. We've got satellites going around the moon now.
Yeah.
So
the moon's not really well mapped out.
Yeah, it's not a great place for an alien base. It's really not. If they want to monitor Earth, maybe it was at one point, but maybe they've had to move it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we've got too much technology now.
Now,
unless they don't give a shit and they are up there and we just don't see that, they don't show us it. NASA and Elon and Richie G.
Hello, good evening, sir.
What's up, smart fellas?
Stu's the smart one. I'm not the smart.
I'm not smart. I just read a lot.
We lost a smart one, Rich. Coral.
Oh, yeah.
I saw your tweet the other day, wishing her well and praying for her, but I listened to your show in the car today, and that's when I found out.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, she had liver cancer and all that, so it was bad. But she's in a better place. That is for sure.
I was just saying we need more people like that in the community.
She didn't care who you were. She was nice to everybody.
Yeah, everybody. I never
that's
saw.
What I said.
Yeah.
Nobody has a bad thing to say. She never said a bad thing about anybody.
Anyone.
You know, and even behind the scenes, you know, she had a strong opinion, but wasn't mean. You know, just I was surprised. She was like your UFO mother. Yeah. Well, that's Dorothy too. Yeah, they were like my mothers. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, but I miss her. It sucks. Yeah. 3 years. She was there with me from the beginning.
And she, as soon as I started going live, she jumped on here and helped me out as well. She's just
that's right.
Just an absolute rock.
Isn't she sweet? I'm so sad by that. All right, I know. But you guys are completely wrong. They didn't have the technology to do anything other than what they did. Build something. Are you kidding me? They barely made it
on the moon. On the moon.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying, Rich, is we've got things going around the moon now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless they're not showing us what they are, what if there is something up there. What I'm saying is, the best place to hide would be in the ocean.
Right.
If that, you know, if the aliens, whatever they are, have a base, the best place would be down under.
On this planet, yeah. If you were to stay on the planet, that is the best place.
You know, closest to home. Well, not their home. Maybe it is
But
now.
if you take like the Earth and actually, I mean, you can do this in Google Earth, like approach the Earth from a distance, like with the Pacific facing you, you hardly see any landmass. It's all blue practically. You know, so any alien coming in from whatever direction and all they see is the blue, you know, that's the first thing that's going to, at least of the Pacific, that's going to greet them until they actually have a good flyby around the planet kind of thing.
I think we've been there 6 times too.
Stu was just telling us a story, Rich, about his friend that works on an oil rig. Is it an oil rig?
Yeah, he gets contracted out to different rigs, but it's oil rigs. He's a diver, saturation diver.
Oh, okay.
And he saw an orange light when he was how far under?
I don't know. I mean, it would be a good couple of 1,000 feet down, I would have thought.
Come up from below him
in the submarine.
No, this is when he's saturation diving in his suit
in a bell thing.
Oh, no way! Oh, that's unreal. Okay,
wow. So the orange light came from behind, and like obviously he like you can imagine the conditions down there are very dark and murky, and only he's lighting up the situation, and then all of a sudden you've got this really bright orange light coming past your shoulders and like around you and surrounding all the murk in that, and when he turned round, basically it just disappeared. It just shrank into the distance at quite a rate of knots.
God, unless it was it couldn't have been a luminous fish, you know, those kind that light up.
Nah,
I don't think they get that bright.
I think it was too big.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But what I was saying, Rich, though, is we don't know what's down there. So
I know.
So you know when he turns around and he's got his light on his helmet, and if you turn around, you shine a light on a fish, that fish might get startled and
spooked him.
But
sure,
it must have been a bloody huge fish.
I know,
a massive orange glowing fish.
It was Trump fish.
Yeah,
that's funny. Orange fish. Orange fish bad. What?
We're going to try and get him on to tell all the stories himself but he's offshore all the time making his money. But we need to get him on. I haven't seen him. He's an old school friend.
He's got a bunch of these stories?
Yeah. Not only like him, like other divers' stories and stuff.
Oh my God, this is unbelievable.
So hopefully get some divers on.
Where again did this happen?
I believe this happened in the Gulf of Mexico, your neck of the woods.
I know, that's why I went boing. I'm like, okay. Because there have been lights seen on, I've been talking to a lot of people around the Gulf because I'm doing a story. And they're talking about these lights and they were orange and green.
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I forget so easily now.
Do you remember the lights that were seen from the plane? Big red.
Yeah.
And it
was algae.
To debunk it, they said algae. So my dad was in the Merchant Navy. I've told his UFO story many a times. I showed my dad that picture and said, "Is that the algae?" And he said, "No."
Why? What was different?
He said, "That's not ships. That's too big." He said it would have had to been loads of ships to create that big that what looked like the altitude that airplane was at.
I want to see that again sometime. I forget, the details now that we're talking about it.
It was just I don't know if it was it a still or was it?
It was I think it was
a video. Was there a video?
I thought it was a video where he was approaching it.
Yeah,
it was way high up. And
yeah.
They just looked down. It's bright red, orange, almost like Stu's buddy. But yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The ocean is, and I think will remain a mystery until we get rich people that actually give a shit and do proper research down there.
I think that's what they're going to try to do with UAPX. Those people. They're going to actually, because what's her name? Caroline Corey, who was in the movie The Thing in the Sky. Remember Tear in the Sky?
Oh, yeah.
They got the portal. Those people, one night I was talking about The Tear in the Sky. And Caroline,
did you enjoy that movie?
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I thought it was all right.
I thought they did well with it.
They could have done so much better, though. Like, they should have explained every piece of equipment they had to us, what it does, how it works. I don't know what that stuff does. You know, they didn't tell us. They told us, hey, we caught something on this, and that's it. And then they showed us the screen, but didn't, they need to teach. Nobody's teaching anybody anything. They're just going out and praying something shows up.
Yeah.
But they are supposedly buying a house out there. They're going to monitor that whole Catalina Island area where the portal was seen and all the UAPs and everything, Tic Tacs. And apparently they're going to do some deep diving and check out underwater and see what's down there. So hopefully something, they had the Malibu base that's in that area. That's not a base, but they're saying it's like a sandbar with pillars, but
that was the one I was talking to you about, Ollie. That's the one I was mentioning earlier. Is it north of Catalina? Or is it
I think so. Just a little north, yeah.
Yeah.
Not much, not far, yeah.
It's a weird sort of outcropping, and it looks as if you could take like a submarine or whatever underneath the land, because they're not saying that you could go right into the underneath the desert or whatever. It supposedly goes on for miles and miles and miles. Whether it actually does or not, I don't know, but that's the kind of stuff they've been talking about.
It probably does.
Yeah.
But they apparently went to that Malibu thing and said it was just a natural creation. And I'm telling you, it looked like pillars. Ollie, you saw that. You know what that is.
I do. I remember that.
Jimmy Church got into that. He was the one who did all that.
That's right.
Yeah.
We played a clip from your show at the beginning, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
You read the entire report times 2 speed.
I know I did, because it was awful.
No, I put you at times 2 speed, even though you're reading it really fast. And
that's funny.
Yeah,
that's smart, actually. Yeah, I had to stop. There was so much of everything was just repeated. You were going to ask me something, or I think
I was.
Yeah,
Stu was. No, I was just. I was just saying.
Okay.
How can anybody be happy with that?
They are.
Who's
happy with it?
I've seen nothing but positivity coming out of UFO Twitter.
Really?
God, they're saying, there's a lot of the same stuff, but now they're telling us how they're going to do it. It's like, I don't care how KFC makes their chicken. I just want it to taste good every time. Just give me the goods.
Yeah.
Nobody's giving us anything. They're just repeating what they did the last time. So,
are we really just not intelligent? Is that the thing?
You mean humans or us?
No. Our part of the UFO community, are we just not intelligent?
No, we're smart. The government thinks we're stupid.
No, but I just don't know who these people are that are happy with the report.
Oh, yeah, I know. I don't know them either. I know. I've seen their names around, but
I watched UFO Jesus. He seemed like he was a little bit miffed off with the report.
Oh, I haven't checked yet.
I was just telling Stu before you came on as well. So Lee messaged me and Dave last night and said, you know what's going on with Joe Biden at the minute with these documents that he left on his Corvette or whatever? He says they're gonna cover it up with some sort of UFO thing. Lo and behold, the report just drops. Get it out quick. Give them something to talk about. Conspiracy people.
Right. But what was the big delay about?
They just needed to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Somebody pieces.
Yeah. And they were happy that they used one of Lou's top, his 5 What do they call it?
Oh,
Observables.
Observables.
They
What?
used
Why
one of
didn't they mention
Lou's.
him?
How come Lou is so quiet these days? I haven't seen him on anything.
Rich killed him.
Did you kill him, Rich? Did you have him off?
I choked them out. Yeah. I dressed up as a bee, who's this guy, Hang Z Tight? I mean, he's just trolling you the whole show, bro. You don't even notice.
I can't concentrate on.
I know. I can't either. I know. But I'm just saying, he's just trolling me.
Am I getting trolled or Ollie?
No, I am.
Yeah.
Why would you get trolled, Stu? You're the nicest person on the planet.
Is he?
Oh,
is he?
no.
Is it? Is
I'm an
he?
angry Scotsman.
So you're drunk, are you?
No.
No, I know. I'm joking. That's just silliness. Anyway, yeah, it's okay, bro. You know, I let it roll off. It doesn't bother me, Ollie, anymore that these girls attack me like that. They need me. You know, they need somebody. I'm bought out. Third Phase is paying me, and Greer controls Third Phase. Yeah, it's the big hierarchy, the pyramid. It's Greer, Third Phase, and me. Stupid girls. Anyway,
just keep talking amongst yourselves just for a second while I just thought.
But these are interesting times we're in. The UFO report drops. That was supposed to drop 2.5 months ago. Nothing came out of it. People are expecting what, Stu? Videos, evidence. Let's see something. It's never going to happen.
That's what I was saying to Ollie. They're literally expecting a photo or a video of Joe Biden shaking the hands of a great. You know, they want to see stuff like that.
So what's next? Now what?
Who knows?
Hasn't the subject of ufology gotten really dull?
Yeah. There's
no
nothing
mainstream, no Lou talk, and no Jeremy Corbell, although he's promising something here in the middle of January.
But he's always promising something. I mean, I don't know what his next movie will be, but you know fine well when he gets to the point where he's going to drop a new documentary, he'll start showing his face again online so that he can rustle up an audience for it. Oh, he's deep.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
That.
What? What's the matter? What's going on over there, Ali? What are you doing?
Typing. I'm a slow person at reading the chat, Rich.
Oh, I have to
so I'm just trying to see.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just wondering what you're doing.
What's he putting?
Who?
I'm not even going to look at it.
I stopped looking. I noticed it 30 minutes ago.
Is it naughty stuff?
Everybody wants him gone. That's the problem.
Okay, if you don't, well,
just leave. He's not bothering me.
Okay, just calm down, fella. Whatever you're saying. Yeah,
it's a girl, I think.
I don't know what people. Is it the beard? Is it because it's ginger? Calm down.
Maybe it is. Yeah, it's unique.
I don't understand like trolls. I just could never be asked, to go on somebody's channel and troll it. I could not waste my energy.
Last night I was in Dave Scott's chat room. And he had a big show going on, talking about the UFO report. Christina Gomez was there, and a bunch of other people. It was a good show. And all I did was say something that didn't agree with what everybody else was saying. Get him out of here. He's a troll. Nobody wants goof on here. And Dave's like, he's allowed to be here. He's welcome here. He didn't say anything wrong. It's like they just can't wait for, the people they want to troll to say something. Anything. And that's welcome to the show was here too, and
I'm so glad you've made friends with Dave. I really am.
Yeah, I am too.
It took some time. I knew you would. Jennifer, thank you so much and welcome back. It's been a while.
It has. Happy New Year.
I hope you're doing well, Jen. She doesn't. Nobody hates you, Rich.
No, she does because I didn't read her super chat one time, she said, which I did. But she accused me of being an asshole.
I remember that. I was watching that when that happened.
Do you know what that is? It's StreamYard. So I will stick up for Rich here. StreamYard, I do like StreamYard. We love you. We use you. But they need to. Sometimes for some weird reason, they don't come up.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't. And yeah, I keep up my super chat board on the YouTube studio, and I refresh it.
Yeah, I've got chats here. I'm watching. I do have it running here, but it's kind of hard to concentrate on you guys and watch it there. There is different chat here to what there's on StreamYard. Completely. There's loads of stuff missing.
You know, when you block somebody, and then they come back and they don't know they're blocked and they start typing. We see that in StreamYard, but the YouTube people don't because they're blocked. It's weird how they didn't fix that. I gotta take 30 seconds. Hold on.
No worries. We've got a question here from Lisa. Are you a New York Yankee fan?
I'm a Yankees fan, actually. I do actually wear this with pride. I've worn like baseball caps for years, and I'm just looking at seeing what my dog's doing. And yeah, it's always been a Yankees cap.
I'll be honest. I've got a ginger beard and really pale skin. I was in I was in Spain, and
you needed a baseball cap.
My head was getting burned, and I went, really like the color of that hat. I'll get that. But yeah, I'll go to a New York Yankees game with you, Stu. We'll go visit Rich, and we'll go.
Oh, he's on the other end of the country. That's a 10-hour flight away.
I do like the logo.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's I'm sorry guys if that's disappointing to anybody. I'll wear any cap as long as it looks a nice color.
I'm not a Boston fan. I don't do Boston.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna get. I tried to get the original. Well, not the original because that would cost a fortune. But you know the Nostromo hat?
Yes.
The guy that gets killed in the first Alien film when he looks up and it's dripping on his hat.
Yeah.
You can get a licensed version of that, but it's sold out everywhere. And you can get a fake one. I don't want the fake one. I want the real licensed one for the show.
Yeah.
But they're selling it for like £90 for a baseball cap. I'm not going to pay that. Yeah, that's a lot. So,
I did notice Nerf guns. They've released an Aliens.
Oh my god, have they? My kids have got Nerf guns. I'll get them that.
This thing's like £200 though or something.
Oh,
but it actually has, in the Aliens movie, it has the digital counter that how many bullets it's got left.
Does it make the noise?
I think it does. I think it does.
My god,
it's still yellow because I was watching Adam Savage tested. I think he bought a couple of them, and he's going to keep one original, but he's going to paint one up so that it looks like the movie.
Nice.
And I thought I like the sound of that. But no, I'll just stick to the cheap Nerf guns.
Why do you think, Stu, that they don't? Because it's not show. You don't see it a lot. But why do you think that they don't show a lot of what's going on under the ocean?
Well, one, it gets extremely dark very quickly. I mean,
yeah, but after all this time, I mean, we've been down, we've looked at. I know the Titanic's nothing in terms of depth. It's still quite deep, but when it comes to
Titanic's pretty far down. I mean, see,
yeah.
Like it's.
But we've gone and had a good look at a ship, only because we're looking for Rose's big,
big
crystal.
But I mean, see the lighting system that Jim Cameron's brother effectively made two subs. He's got two subs that had the lighting rigs on them. I mean, the amount of power those things had to output to put enough light on that ship at a reasonable distance for them to get the footage they needed for like the IMAX documentary and everything was phenomenal. I mean, it really was like major power output. And it's so dark down there. So I think it's just down to, unless we develop more LiDAR technology and side scan radar and all that, sonar, sorry, which is even more detailed, then we're just not going to see what's going on down there.
I want to see that. Speaking of reports, I want to see some of. They do keep reports because they do have to file them when people do call in UFOs out at sea. I want to see some of those reports.
Where would you get them?
Never will.
You must be able to do a FOIA request for those.
Can't.
I think you'd have to.
Nope.
Rich, I think you'd have to speak to the every man and his dog, you know, that was actually on the rigs on the ships.
To get a FOIA request?
No, I mean to get an actual face to face.
See, that's what I don't understand. Jeremy Corbell says he's getting this information from people who are, you know, whistleblowers that are still working for the military. I'm like wondering, why would they, you know, put their jobs on the line for him, and everything that he's put out has been debunked. It's like they're just giving him stuff to give to us, to play us, to make us believe something that's not really there. Just like they've been trying to do with What is a Woman? How many sexes are there? You know, I mean, come on. It's not that, you know what I mean? It's not that difficult.
Yeah, I don't believe for a minute. See the stuff that he's got. I don't believe for a minute that hasn't been vetted and checked upon by the higher ups in the Navy.
They can figure out who gave him the video. They know who's where.
Everything gets logged,
right?
You know, like I mean, my cousins are an air traffic controller at what's called Atlantic House, just along the road, and they basically cover all of the North Atlantic traffic. And every single air traffic controller in that place, everything they do is logged. Every flight they've managed is logged. You know, they can tell instantaneously which air traffic controller talked to which plane at what time.
It's all recorded too.
It's all recorded, and it's the same with ships, and it's the same like on a warship or whatever, or a frigate or that. All the communications are all recorded. Everything is recorded, and that's in case something goes wrong and they've basically got to investigate it. You know, somebody releases a Tomahawk missile by accident or something, you know, they want to have a chain of evidence there. And they've been doing that for years. And it's the same with like F-22s or F-15s. All these planes, they all have data recorders as well as black boxes that record every single thing that the plane's doing. And like the crappy video that we get for like the Tic Tac or the Go Fast and that, I mean, that stuff's a load of nonsense. Because trust me,
the drones.
The quality of the video you can get off of these aircraft is phenomenal. And you've only got to go to like Northrop Grumman or Lockheed Martin's websites and the companies that make the technology that for the FLIR and stuff like that to actually see the examples they put out.
Oh my God.
This is what we can do. And it's as sharp as a tack. It's 4K gorgeousness. You know?
And at night too, some of them,
Yeah, but what do we get? We get this fuzzy, filmed on a potato load of crap that you just can't make it out, that folk like Mick West, you know, try and debunk for months on end. It's a lot of nonsense. It really is.
So if everything that's going on is BS and all we're doing is getting a repeat performance with the congressional thing and all this, the reports, what is it all for? Why all this, you know, is it postulating? I don't know.
I think it splits the UFO community.
That's not why they're doing it, though.
No, I don't think it's to do with the UFO community, because the UFO community is not that big in the grand scheme of things.
It's not. It's why we all know each other.
Yeah. I think it's going to come down.
That's why we all hate each other.
I think it's going to come down to they're going to use space as a way of starting wars and making money, the military-industrial complex. I mean, that's why we've got Space Force now, because now every government in the world has had to react to the fact that you know, the US have now got a department of their, you know, a branch of their military basically geared up for, you know, doing things in space. And the Chinese and the Russians have been practicing taking down satellites.
Yeah, the satellite busters. Yeah. You know, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't even think of that with the addition of Space Force right at the
Yeah, I
time.
mean,
You know, it's interesting, right? As
it's
we're getting the Office, Space Force is born.
if they can create enough fear in potential alien invasions or whatever they end up doing, or something simpler than that, that they can ramp up a war, or it's an excuse to go and invade North Korea or China or wherever. You know, think of the billions of dollars that the industrial complex is going to make through all the technologies that they're creating right now.
Here's the thing. With all of this though, I when these reports get released to the average Joe, and I would class myself as just the average Joe, looking at that report, it might mean something to. So if I gave that report to my dad, said, "Here, Dad, read that," that might mean something to him.
It would be amazing to him.
Yeah. But,
the language in there is amazing. It really is. If you were just getting here.
But to somebody who's, but it's a very small community, like you've just said, to all of us, we just hear it and it's just like this again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's in one ear and out the other, because it's just the same story again and again and again and again.
But the public,
so those reports aren't meant for us.
Right. Thank you. That's it. That's what the answer I was looking for. I think you're right. Yeah. Well, they're not for the people with, you know, knowledge of what's going on. Yeah, that's for damn sure.
I know you're doing a show about the report tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
I see
I'm going to milk it for all I can, because that's what I do. I milk things.
But maybe there is a thought there that, yeah, we may look at it and say, it's just this again. But maybe it's, you know, baby steps.
Come on. I mean, we're talking
baby steps.
We're not even we're crawling.
Baby steps for my mum. Baby steps for my dad. Baby steps for all my friends that think what I do is just ridiculous. Maybe that's what it's for.
It is. You're right. Well said.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe it's not so bad.
Maybe it's not so bad.
It's just bad for us. It's just boring for us.
Yeah, that's true.
We want more. We want the bells and whistles.
And the people writing it up, you know, to them it's new. You know, they're excited. They're like, "Oh, this is great," you know, and they just think it's the best thing. But you're right. We're repetitive.
Maybe we are wrong. We
are.
We just expect so much, but we just, because we always pipe on about disclosure. You know, there's so many of our thumbnails and our, well, especially mine, that say the word disclosure in them, and because it's something that we
gotta get that clickbait.
Well, yeah. well, I mean, it doesn't work with the UFO clickbait on YouTube. Doesn't work anymore, especially not for me.
Nobody. It doesn't work for any of us.
The UFO community, I don't think these reports are for.
No, I know. It's for the general public. People, they want the public to get behind the threat. And you know what? You made a good point, because if everything's going up in space, they need that arrow office to deflect the new technology they're going to be flying around right above the Earth. Interesting times we're in. Yeah, good stuff, man. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've got that sort of mini space shuttle, the X, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
It goes up for 2 years at a time, and we still don't know to this day what payload it's got and what it's doing up there.
That thing looks like it's held together with masking tape.
I know, it looks really...
It looks rough.
Few zip ties and
yeah.
but
there you go. Yeah. Lisa, ABC News even talked about it, the report today. So, yeah.
Good.
It was on Fox earlier on. I did note that as well. It was on Fox
Wow.
News.
Have you
All
seen
right,
anything?
so
Anything in the UK, Stu? You watch the news? I haven't seen. I had a chance
I
today.
think the BBC covered it a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty
That-
sure it's on the BBC website.
That's interesting.
I'll see if I can dig out the link.
yeah, because you guys never get any news. You say, Ollie,
No,
that nothing
no.
ever happens over there.
I mean,
It's crazy.
I don't trust the BBC anyway. But
No,
that's a different conversation. But if they're speaking about it, then
Hey, Ollie,
we might get more.
has the BBC always been this way, or did they change into liars when pretty much everybody else did? Because growing up until
in my opinion,
Yeah.
all mainstream news has lied for a long time and covered up shit. You know, that I personally think the news is you get what you're given and what they want you to know.
Yeah, I understand, but
And what they don't want you to know, they won't tell you.
But when I was growing up, the news was something that was respectable, and the newspaper didn't lie. That's what I'm saying. When did that change for you? Because with us, it changed probably in the late 80s, and then once the internet came out and social media took off, everybody went to pot. Ha.
Do you not think in America, Fox News kind of went really right-wing after 9/11?
Yeah.
Because I used to watch Fox. I used to watch Fox News all the time, especially during the whole, 9/11 coverage and stuff like that. And it was like not long after that, like a couple of years later, like their content got really right wing. Not that there's, if you're a right winger, that's fine. If you're a Republican, that's where you get your news of that. Then CNN obviously is kind of more kind of, Democrat left wing or whatever. But I felt that they kind of like, whereas CNN kind of sat more in the middle, they went left, Fox went right, and then ABC kind of, depending on which show you're on, kind of juggles between the two. It's
That's 100% accurate. I believe what you just said is 100% spot on, and that's true. That's the way it is, unfortunately. But now they're opinionative more than they are factual.
So why do you think Fox News does? And I think they've been in it for the. I would have been right by saying they've been in it for the longest when it comes to UFO reporting.
Actually, NBC.
Okay.
Yeah, NBC's.
Yeah.
They've done a whole load of like documentaries and stuff over the years.
2-hour documentaries over 2 nights, and a lot of stuff.
And I'm just going to email you a link in a second.
Yeah, sure. This will bring it in line with what we're talking about with USOs and aliens being in the ocean, because I will say, and I said this to you, Rich, when I first saw Fravor, it was on TTSA. It was on David Fravor. It was on TTSA, and and there was a lot of that was cut up, and maybe it was a bit long-winded, so that's possibly why they cut it. And then when they put him on Fox News, he looked like a deer in headlights. And then he kind of, the other shows that he's gone on, he's kind of relaxed. But I don't know. I'm not going to judge him from the Fox News or.
He's got a bit more media savvy now compared to what he was like back in like when he first came out on TV and stuff.
What I'm getting at. Sorry, Rich. What do you want to say?
No. Go. Finish it.
I was what I'm going to get at is David Fravor reported the Tic Tac at the time with people there to back it up. He saw something that was in the water that was huge with that
froth
wash, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Over it. Now, the Tic Tac, we're now saying, people are saying it's a drone, possibly ours. What was in the water was that if his story, if he's not an actor and he's not lying, David, I don't think you are. I want you on the show. You're done. You finished. You've done your job. You finished reporting on it. Maybe that if if the story is 100% legit, and what they saw under that water was something huge, maybe that tic tac, if that's ours, that was there to get them to get out of that area because of whatever that was down there.
So you're saying there was something
No,
under the
that's not-
water that it was.
There was
checking
something
out.
under the water, yeah.
Yeah.
There was, but they went there.
Yes, I know they went there, but
So why?
because the tic tac was there, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The tic
But-
tacs
but-
were the thing that the radars were
Yeah,
getting, were
But
getting
they
tons on,
but they went after the tic tac. That got forgotten about, whatever that was.
and
in
then
the
it
water.
disappeared.
Well,
Do you not
that's-
remember? See, when David Fravor first started talking, he mentioned another story about submarines firing off like test torpedoes or dummy torpedoes or whatever, and they would then be retrieved by helicopter crews, and they would put a diver in the water.
I
And they were
didn't hear
sa-
that interview.
I'll need to find it, because he basically said it wasn't him. He was paraphrasing a story he heard from somebody else, and he basically said the diver went into the water. Ropes were lowered or whatever, or wires were lowered to connect up this dummy torpedo thing, and when it started to be lifted out the water, something grabbed onto it and started to pull it down, and the diver freaked out. It's in one of the interviews that he
I
did.
never heard that.
Yeah, it's in one.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was.
He's done a ton of interviews, so
Yeah, I thought it was just prior to the Joe Rogan interview that he did with Corbell that he talked in one of the news reports. I don't know whether it was like the Australian 60 Minutes or something, or it was something else, but I remember him talking about it, and that was another, oh, there you go, underwater USOs.
Yep.
That's what kind of raised my
So
Well,
here we go on,
spidey
Rich.
sense
While
on
I'm
it.
pulling this up.
I was just going to say, let's not forget that 6 months after David Fravor saw the Nimitz, saw the thing on the Nimitz or whatever, right? All that you're just talking about. He was in a documentary 6 months later.
What about?
Ollie brought that up to me. He was a TV
Yeah.
reality show showing how the crew works on his ship.
Right.
Maybe he's just really, really.
He's good in front of the camera.
Yeah, but is
Apart
that
from
not
on Fox.
coincidence? Because he was the head of the squadron, though. He was the boss.
Yeah. But they may have chosen him to pull this story out and read the script because he does do well. And now, if you think about the other girl, Alex Dietrich, she's had a problem with this.
Has she?
She didn't like the spotlight. She felt, awkward, and she talked about that. I saw her talking somewhere on Twitter or Facebook, but
She not do an interview with Alien Girl? Did the Alien Girl not get an interview with her?
She may.
Thought she did. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Alien Girl gets some great guests.
No, I'm sure she did a really
She
good
goes
interview
for
with
it.
Alex. Because obviously, girl, they got a nice connection going on, that she really sort of spilled the beans on what
Stop
happened
being
that day.
sexist.
I was thinking the same thing. You
Well,
sexist. No, I'm joking.
not being sexist, just from the point of view of
I know.
it's easier for a woman to talk to another woman and get, the gossip, shall we say, compared to like if it was your eye.
Big thanks to our Bob here. What would change if UFOs were real when American military can't do nothing but take pictures? What would change?
They'd be screwed.
I mean, I have said for a long time, there's not a chat. If they've been coming here for thousands of years, or what, like the fuzzy guy, what's he called? Thingy, what's the ancient alien guy called? Fuzzy haired, big hair.
George Tsoukalos?
Yeah.
Giorgio. Yeah.
If they've, I'd like to touch his head. If they've been coming here for a long time, there's not a cat in hell's chance that they can crash by accident or get shot down by our technology. maybe all we can do is take pictures of them. Our Bobby's probably right. This is going to make you so mad, Rich, by the way. Stu, I've got it ready to pull up what you've just sent me from the BBC. Is this what's just been released?
Yeah, 4 hours ago.
So I'm not gonna be able to read this. Rich, you're the best reader. Well, I don't know what your reading's like, Stu. Probably great. Everybody's reading's better than mine.
Rich is the man. Go for
Rich
it.
is the man.
You just can't understand Stu, though.
You won't be able. It's okay.
I'm joking.
You won't be able to understand the BBC. It's fine.
Crickets today.
I've got to be careful because I know folk at the BBC.
And then Ollie, I want that clip when you're done.
It's not a clip. It's
It's an article.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
it's an article. I will copy and paste
I'm
it.
so
I'll send you
stupid.
it.
I haven't smoked any weed today, so I'm flying normal.
Wait until you see what is the picture that's straight on the.
I thought this would be funny.
There you go.
You've got to be kidding me.
No.
Okay.
Corbell.
This is so stupid.
So
UFO reports. Yeah.
They do this all the time.
I can't see it. It's so small.
Let me bring it. Let me
Get
make
rid of
it.
us.
Let me make it big. That's what she said.
By
Can you see that,
Brandon
Rich?
Drennan. Yeah, a new declassified U.S. government report on UFO sightings by U.S. troops has revealed hundreds of new cases. The U.S. National Intelligence Office is now aware of 510 reported sightings, an increase over the 144 compiled in the Spy Agency's first 2021 assessment. Nearly half of the new sightings were deemed unremarkable and attributed to human origins, according to this report. However, more than 100 of the encounters remain unexplained. The report says that encounters with UFOs, which the government calls UAP, continue to occur in restricted or sensitive airspace, highlighting possible concerns for safety and national security. Of the 366 new reports, 26 were determined to be drones, 163 were balloons, and 6 aerial objects were attributed to clutter. Clutter? The report was issued in part to help, what is that, destigmatic? What?
You asking me?
Destigmatize? It's a hard word to read. I visually can't see experiences with UFOs and improve air safety. So they're saying they're getting rid of the stigma that comes with UFOs with these reports. UFOs. These objects show physics we don't understand. Bullshit. I've never seen anything like that. And it is increased reports of encounters are indeed the result of what does that say? It's like the sentence got shrunk or something.
Indeed, the result. Where are we?
Under, 2 lines under the black UFOs, these objects show physics, that bullet point.
Oh, indeed.
Encounters are indeed the result of what is that? I see effort to destigmatize the topic of UAP and instead recognize the potential risks that it poses.
Yeah.
Okay, as both safety of flight hazard and potential adversarial activity like China, Russia sneaking in here. It goes on to say that 171 sightings still remain uncharacterized and unattributed, meaning not enough information was collected to effectively identify them. Some of these uncharacterized UAP appear to have demonstrated unusual flight characteristics or performance capabilities and require further analysis, the report says. But none of the reports have been linked to any extraterrestrial activity. The reports, that was too easy. The reports are being examined by AARO, which is the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. And AARO will focus on receiving and analyzing incidents with unidentified phenomena and work with intelligence agencies to further assess those incidents, according to the new declassified document. So they're going to start working with other agencies, other companies and people. That's good. Last month, the Pentagon Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security told media, we haven't seen anything that would lead us to believe that any of these objects that we've seen are of alien origin. I haven't seen anything that's holding to date that would suggest that there have been alien visitation, an alien crash, or anything like that, added Ronald Moultrie. But the effort continues to identify whether the remaining UFOs have have earthly origins. You moved it on me. In the absence of being able to resolve what something is, we assume that it may be hostile, he said. And so we have to take that seriously. So if it's not a threat, they don't give a shh.
No.
Yeah.
As Jeremy Corbell would say, they fly with impunity.
Oh yeah, he says he also says this.
I have seen the logs. I have seen the videos. We have attempted shoot downs of UAPs on a regular basis. We're talking as recently as last Friday.
Somebody needs to make a song from that.
Absolutely. I could see a song coming from that. Dude, that's a good idea. I can't believe he said they're shooting shit down.
Meanwhile, he's got a gun safe behind him. Love it.
What do you if there was an agenda when it comes to these reports?
Right.
Do you think that is just to get, the average normal person to kind of slowly give them a taster for what is going on? To get the world used to it?
Well, that's the baby step process, right? To slowly disseminate the information to the public like we're children, which is what they're doing.
Where does it lead?
It leads 50 years later where they can finally say, we have technology, we've run out of coal and everything else, so here we go. It's free energy. We've had it for 100 years. Sorry. That's where it's leading, I think. Now, what this is all for, it's just a ruse to get funding, to get an office where we could actually get funded and go to other countries and have the backing of the U.S. government in meetings with other countries, finding out what shit they have. And then it's all going to be documented and disseminated to the public, supposedly. So now that gives them the ability to do anything they want, if they so choose to, right? And if other countries want to talk to us and tell us what they have in their arsenal, which they probably wouldn't, but they would probably tell us what they've seen. And apparently it's the same shit. They're seeing Tic Tacs over on the other side of the world too. But I haven't seen any video, have you?
No.
And why is it only the military seeing it and recording it?
Yes, I have. I've seen the missiles.
Right. Yeah, I have too.
Which look exactly like Go Fast.
It does.
What, Tomahawks?
The Go Fast footage.
Yeah, but cruise missiles you're talking about.
That's it
was a missile. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a missile. I don't know if it was a cruise missile for
It looked exactly like.
Was that the one that Mick West was complaining about? That was going from left to right. You
basically could see no contrail behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was very. Mick West did put it out. Yeah. You could see there was nothing coming off it. It looked like a Tic Tac. It looked like Go Fast.
Yeah.
Though Go Fast apparently wasn't a Tic Tac. They just didn't know what that was.
They think it's either like a bag or trash, right? Or a bird even. I mean, nobody knows.
Well, it's definitely not a bag, trash or bird.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. But no citizen, no video of a Tic Tac in history yet. Just the military. So that's why I also think this whole thing is just made up. I think it's just to get the office and to create fear. And if the general public believes it, then that's good enough for them. They don't care what we think. We're nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we all grew up with the threat of nuclear war in the 80s and 90s,
my kids are growing up with that now.
Yeah.
True.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, that is true. But it was always, the Soviet Union versus the Americans, and the chance of nuclear war was going to happen tomorrow. And that was the fear back then. And then the fear in the late 90s then became terrorism, all that kind of stuff. You know,
which led to 9/11.
Which led to 9/11, and then July 7th in the UK in 2005. And
oh my God, it's leading to Independence Day. Shit, the dead.
You know, so you know the next thing is going to be
Yeah.
the Empire State Building getting blown up.
No, don't say that.
YouTube by a fake flying saucer.
That the Empire State Building won't fall like the
No.
towers did. I think the towers were built for that day to come down the way they did.
They were built
telling you.
differently.
Yeah.
I know that the support system was internal rather than external, and that's why they came down so easily compared to like if a plane does hit Empire State Building, joking aside, it would take a bigger hit than the towers ever would.
The 9 and the double ones makes me nervous on YouTube because Jeremy Reese from Alien Scientist used to do videos on the 911, and his channel was flying, and I can remember, and then he got
tanked.
I heard about that.
Yeah. And he's starting to pull it back now. He's starting to pull that back up again, but he took a right. It's so strange, isn't it? You speak about something that on YouTube that you're not supposed to speak about, and behold,
I tell you, if you want to go down a rabbit hole to do with 911,
I don't. I absolutely don't.
Already have.
Judy Wood. Have you ever seen Dr. Judy Wood stuff, Rich?
Yes, hours and hours. I love her.
Oh my God, that's so convincing the way she puts that stuff forward.
100%.
Because 100%. I remember.
Let's just not talk about it. I don't want shadow banning.
Nobody said anything yet. But you're right. We shouldn't be, but you're right. And the reason that happened to Jeremy Ollie is because he was playing videos. You know, it's okay to talk. I talk about this stuff all the time. Nothing's happened. But your channel, and I respect that. But how about them towers? No, I'm kidding.
Can I go off topic for a second?
Yeah,
please do.
See, with YouTube, how are you guys, or what your thoughts are on the whole YouTube Shorts thing? Because you do the odd one, Rich.
Rich does loads.
I do them every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about them?
Like, well, YouTube's going all in on YouTube Shorts. They're really taking on TikTok this year. You know, the monetization, the way it's all, you know, making money off of it and stuff like that. And I just wondered if you were going to like start doing short miniature, mini specific YouTube short stuff rather than the lives.
I've done
videos, mini documentary type things, you know, 1 minute documentaries or whatever.
Yeah, don't use anybody else's stuff though, because they are going to be real strict when it comes to that. Because now everything's going to be monetized in February for the shorts.
Yeah, that's right.
Are they increasing the length of the short?
No,
I don't think so. Because the thing is, YouTube's.
You only get paid 55% of the ad commission. It's terrible, and 45% on other stuff. So you're getting half of whatever ad revenue comes in. But it's free. It's only for, man, who cares? Yeah. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, TikTok, the way they pay out is horrible from what I understand. I mean, I was watching a video on TikTok the other day, and the guy had literally something like 16.5 million views. Do you want to know how much you get paid? $4.
Oh, that's why bother?
You know,
if you're in it to make money, that's not the place to do it.
No, I don't know how the people that are on TikTok are making money, because it must be through. It must be through, like,
you got to say it like Donald.
Sponsorships.
China.
Yeah,
because China owns it.
That's right.
Dude, whatever happened with who was the senator that our good friend Osvaldo spoke to? Senator
Gillibrand?
Yeah.
Nothing's happened.
Has she mentioned the UFO since? I've seen her do it once and it may have been to get more votes. But I honestly think when people are politicians and what have you, I think
Is
it's just
Gillibrand still in the Senate, Rich?
I don't know. I think so. I haven't heard her
don't
name
know.
since, though.
No, I haven't heard her in ages.
You saw the clip, didn't you, with Oz?
Of course.
And did you not find that? I mean, I loved Oz to pieces, and I wish he'd still speak to me, but he doesn't. He's fallen out of me for some reason. Maybe it's because I don't support his way of thinking when it comes to UFOs. But I am who I am.
Is he not all in with the TTSA crowd, though?
Very much, very much.
Well, that's what happened. He dropped you for them.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Well,
welcome to my world.
Good luck with getting a payout. That's all I'll say from your investment, Oz. But did you not find that the senator, the way she spoke to Oz, was a little bit like he was her, I don't know, like, oh, isn't he cute?
Yes.
It was very like
piteous,
just weird how she spoke to him.
She talked to him like it was a homeless guy coming up to her with a microphone. That's what, like she had pity for him.
And that, I'm not saying that about
I know
about Oz, but I'm saying that about somebody addressing the UFO topic. It was very strange how she came at him with the reaction she had. I just thought that was odd. It was like it was almost like she wanted to stroke his face,
She got a channel.
Give him a little cuddle. Yes, he has, but I keep telling stuff out. He doesn't.
So where was this on that you interviewed her?
This, to be fair, it's had pretty. Didn't it go viral, Rich?
It went viral, yeah.
Yeah,
he
Oz does get in the thick of things, though. He's in New York City. He gets out and about, and he does go. He's in the credits of Stephen Greer's Sirius disclosure. That's when he fell out. That because he put quite a bit of money behind Stephen, and I don't know how much, but I've heard rumors. He's put quite a bit.
What did he do?
Upwards of $50,000, right? To TTSA. I'll say it.
I don't know. I think he's got his own business and what have you, but he's a great guy. He's a great guy. I just hope he gets something back off that investment. That I don't think he will. But the reason why I wanted to bring up TTSA, Rich, is because when I was listening to your show today, I got a thinking about when you were speaking about, I can't remember the Shrat coming on your show once a month.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a bad idea once a month. It's huge commitment once a month for anybody.
Yeah. That's why I haven't asked.
Every 2 months. Perfect.
I think every 2 months or 3 months even.
Michael we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 3 times a year is enough.
And I agree. Lovely guy. But what I was going to say is Third Phase have a good, I would say, a good relationship with Stephen Greer.
Very good.
Yeah. Would you say, and I'm going to use my first swear word because it's after 15, is it 15 minutes on YouTube now? Yeah. Would you say that Tom DeLonge got fucked over by his team that he got? Forget the pyramid scheme or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. When it comes to the investment, do you think Tom DeLonge got fucked over by Lou the Melon?
Without knowing the details, to me, it feels that way. It looks like he did.
I think Chris Mellon was the instigator of the, departure and the split. He seemed to be the one pulling the strings behind. I think they used Tom.
So Stephen said this in an interview with Secure Team 10 that Tom DeLonge was being used by XYZ.
Yeah.
And this is the interesting part. This is before we really knew who Lou was and who Melon was.
Really? In 2016, before Lou got here?
I think I could be I could be wrong, but if you go back and look at that Secure Team 10 interview with Stephen Greer when he speaks about Tom DeLonge, Stephen Greer, as much as people want to badmouth him, he said, right now Tom DeLonge's being used. He never said he's got a scam going, or whatever. He said Tom DeLonge is being used. Now, the interesting thing here, and this is where my my ideas came into play, is the boys who I hope they've not fallen out with me, even though we had a few questions, a heated debate, but the boys have a good relationship with Stephen Greer. Now, Stephen Greer knows Tom DeLonge because Tom's been to his house.
Mhm.
Yeah, Tom stayed there.
I believe that Tom DeLonge is the company's a different company now. It's very much just about the media, t-shirts, and what have you. It's very much changed. I would like to see an interview with Stephen Greer and Tom DeLonge where Stephen can ask the questions about what happened with Lou.
I tell you who should.
I think
one
second, Stu. I think Third Phase of the Moon could do that because of the relationship that they have with Stephen Greer, and Stephen Greer knows Tom DeLonge. That would be. I think that could happen. I think that is something that could happen.
It would be turned into a documentary, is what would happen.
Because something very strange has happened with Tom. I don't know if you. The whole thing, the split, where as soon as he went on Joe Rogan, he was kicked out.
It was over. Yeah.
He was kicked out of his own fucking company.
It sucked. Yeah.
Yeah. Despite what you may think about him, despite what you may think about the investment scheme, something very strange happened where Lou took the reins. Now that was a board decision.
Well, that's because according to Lou, they couldn't see eye to eye with someone. He never said who. He says we just couldn't see eye to eye with somebody, and that was that. So they ended the relationship after the contract was up.
But that is the only guys that I could see pulling that off. They've got the relationship with Greer.
They use them.
It's a great relationship they have. Greer, I guarantee has DeLonge's contacts because DeLonge's been to his house. You know, they were friends.
Do you know who could pull it off though as well? And this is no disrespect to the third phase guys, only because both people have been off on his channel at different times, and that's Kurt Jumango, Theory of Everything.
Oh yeah,
because he's interviewed Greer. And
I think Greer is
Tom DeLonge.
He is not the guy to interview those two people. No way. Absolutely not. This isn't his field of expertise. I want an expert talking to him.
He takes too many questions from...
he doesn't know everything about Lou Elizondo. I mean, and he should. He doesn't know anything about...
No, fair enough. Fair play.
Yeah.
Play.
And Kurt's the greatest guy, nicest guy, one of the nicest people I've met. Yeah, it's a great show.
No, he's doing well. I like watching
super smart guy. But if you watch the interviews he has with the higher upper people, you know, he misses a lot of good points. And I know he gets help with those questions from other people. So, but you know, we all help each other to do better. So good for him. But
I don't know if Greer would go back on though. Did you watch the show with Greer?
I did.
There was a couple of moments where I think Greer got a little bit peeved off.
But that's Greer. Greer gets pissed off over nothing.
He was kind of out of his depth because he kept saying at the time, I don't want to go into like the nitty gritty details. And, you know, basically the two guys, Kurt and the other guy that was on with them, basically saying, hey, we're physicists. We want you to go into the nitty gritty details.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that kind of caught him on the hop because I think Greer's used to getting interviewed and speaking to the everyman and not going into a great amount of detail about 0 point energy or whatever it is he's talking about, and he likes to kind of keep it on that level, whereas those guys were like, no, give us the string theory, we want to hear the quantum stuff, you know, give us the details. and he just didn't want to play ball that night.
I mean, I know you're doing the documentary at some point on Greer. You're still getting all that stuff together, Stu. But
yeah, slowly working on it.
I will say, Greer is not a physicist.
No.
You know,
The angle I'm taking on it now is very much
no. But
about...
what I mean is, on Kurt's show, when Kurt was asking those questions, in Greer's defense, he probably doesn't know the answers to the stuff that he was asking. Because Kurt, when it comes to physics, knows he knows. Am I right by saying that, Rich? He knows his shit. Yeah.
No,
And Greer probably doesn't.
Definitely not. I mean,
that's why he couldn't. That's why he didn't.
From what I've been researching so far about Greer, I think the interesting thing about Greer is actually, and I've said this to you, Ollie, is his medical career prior to the whole UFO thing. That's it seems to be becoming an interesting story, like a good story. And I think it needs to be told. And I'm kind of hoping to kind of go down that route a little bit more so than like some of the other stuff that he says that's quite clearly borderline bullshit. But yeah, it's a tricky one because I'm finding out all these different things.
Like what? Can you tell us anything or not really? Because it's going to go in your movie.
Well, it's going to go in the documentary, but I mean, the likes of
public information.
I mean, it's not a great secret, but the likes of when he goes on about briefing Clinton, briefing Bush, briefing Obama, and all that kind of stuff, he's never actually sat in the room with them.
No, I know. That's my problem.
You know, he sent them. I mean, you can actually download the briefing documents that he sent Clinton and Bush, and they're like multi-page. I think one of them's 200 pages long and really in depth. And they're just, you know, fine well that thing.
So he has sent them an in-depth.
He sends it to them. It doesn't mean it gets past the gatekeeper and to the president.
What I was going to say.
Yeah.
There's no way the president's going to sit down and read that briefing document. Some intern that's there from the OEOB will have read through that, maybe glanced at the summary. It's never going to hit the desk of the president.
No, don't say that. You never know. Trump would have read that. I bet you Trump would have read it.
If it had nice little pictures on it, maybe. But...
yeah, of course.
do an impression of what he would have said when he opened it.
What?
Come on, Rich, do an impression of what he said.
This is huge. That's he uses those big words. This is huge. Good, the best. We've got the best UFOs ever. I can't do Trump, but I got to get going, unfortunately. So this was fun.
You've got a show.
I would ask you what the show's on tonight, Rich, but
I'm having. Hopefully, people will want to come on and talk
that's
about
a great idea. That's what you should do. 100% do that. That's what you need to do. I want to know what the general public think of it.
Yeah, me too. I do too. I want to know. So that's what I'm doing.
Can I just tickle your nipples just for 1 second before you shoot?
Of course.
Are you free next Sunday, 9 p.m. GMT, 4 p.m. Eastern, or it can be 10 p.m. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. As normal.
Yeah.
Next Sunday. The reason being is I'm probably going to regret it because I think it will get pulled off YouTube and I might get a community guideline strike. But I think I know the way to do it. If I make the video completely over 18s and say it's not made for kids, which I normally do. Every one of my videos not made for kids. I want to show the full alien autopsy and have a discussion on it. Because I know that you are convinced because they have said that they hoaxed it, but I want to revisit it.
Wow. Again? You just did 2.5 hours on it 1 week and
I've never done it.
We've talked about it how many times?
We have mentioned it, but we
didn't just mention it. It may not have been a topic of the show, but we spent a good hour on that thing.
We have showed a still image, but we have never ever shown the footage.
No,
that is no longer on YouTube.
Okay, I know.
You can't get it on YouTube. I think I know the way around it.
Boy, I know
gotta
I've been
stop
here.
and talk your way through it. Like you've got to like stop, start, stop, start, stop, start.
Yeah.
Sort of commentary.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. We will pause it and talk in certain.
Well, so you're asking me, and I honestly have to say I probably won't, and I'll tell you why. Because I can't record TV shows, and professional football is on Sunday, and it's the playoffs,
Oh, bugger my ass.
and I don't miss shit. I don't miss the playoffs. So depending on the game, but I'll let you know. I'll let you know in another. I'll let you know tonight. I'll let you know later.
People in the chat, stay tuned for this because you have to be on it, Rich, because you're the one. Because we have a disagreement with this. Because you say it's a hoax.
Most everybody says that because the guy came out and said it was. But
I know. But where's the evidence?
Well, do you think it's real, Ollie?
I'm saying where is the prop? Where's any footage to show they faked it? Anything? Show me anything. Show me one.
Hold on a second. You should use that logic with Third Phase of Moon while you're at it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys next time.
And on that note, bye, Rich.
Good night, Rich.
I will let you know. I'll let you know in a little bit if I'll be able to do it. Most likely, I will.
Yeah. While you're thinking about it, prepare yourself and find me anything to show that they faked it.
Oh, I will. Yeah, and you can't find it, but there's nothing out.
Anything,
dude. Same with Third Phase of Moon. There's no proof they faked anything.
Even just the head.
You can't. I'm telling you right now. I'm not even going to bother looking because nobody filmed that. Hey, we got the fake head here from the alien autopsy. Document that for Ollie's show in the future.
It's so mysterious. I love it so much. It's what got me. It's what got me into it.
I'm really surprised at you that you believe that's real.
I don't believe it's a real alien.
It's a bloated woman who died either in the water and bloated up.
Yeah, but what did they say? Didn't they say it was a shop floor dummy?
Nah.
I think they said they made it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't remember the details because it came out in '97.
There's so many different things. We need to revisit it.
All right, I'll try to find something to rewatch that again to get fresh.
And I'm just curious to understand why we're not allowed to play it. If it's fake, when you can watch a real autopsy on YouTube of a real person being cut.
Because it's fake. Don't you get it? That's why they're not going to let us see it. It's fake.
Okay.
But I will blow you out of the water next Sunday. All right, I'll see you next Sunday. God love you.
All right, mate.
See ya.
Cheers.
Stu, take care, buddy, okay?
Ta-da.
Huh? Ta-da?
Bye. Ta-da.
Did he say ta-da?
Ta-da, yeah.
Ta-da. Bye.
Toodaloo. Good.
He didn't finish his gurge. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. A gurge is the first Rich is the only person that I've heard say that. Maybe it's a Rich thing. It's not probably. I don't think it's an American thing. It's definitely a Rich thing.
I forgot he was so into football. Yeah, the playoffs.
Yeah, I feel bad now that I don't wear this hat with pride.
Why are you doing it on the Sunday?
I'm doing it on the Sunday so Dave can come on.
Right.
And you're welcome as well, Stu. By the way,
yeah,
I'll
let you know.
You know about camera work.
Yeah, I'm going to actually ask about next week because I know a few folk that had. Oh, what's the guy's name? The guy
word. Sorry, Jennifer. Thank you for the super chat. But you attended an autopsy. Oh, I can't think of anything worse. I mean, if it's an autopsy of a fish, I'd be good with that.
There used to be a hospital up in Glasgow called Cannisburn. It's long since knocked down now, and they did an awful lot of reconstructive surgery and stuff like that up there. And I used to teach the medical photographers up there Photoshop, and you should see some of the photos that they were having to Photoshop and clean up and like surgeries and autopsies and all sorts of stuff. It was pretty gross.
When was the last time you watched the alien autopsy video? The actual,
The
not
actual
the ones
full
that's on,
thing.
not the ones on. They're not on YouTube. You got to go to Rumble to watch the full thing.
The last time I saw it is when it came out originally, and it was in Blockbuster.
Right.
For rent, because I actually, when I left like press photography college, uni, whatever you want to call it, and came back up to Scotland, there wasn't a lot of freelance work kicking about, and I didn't have a staff job, so I had to obviously do something to make a bit of money, and I worked in Blockbuster part-time. So literally that, it was while I was 96, I think, when I was working in Blockbuster. I think
could you get free could you take edit home any video you wanted?
Yeah, you got up to 5 rentals every week. But you could basically, I mean, see if you were like...
You could manipulate that.
Yeah, like the classic was if you were working a Sunday night shift and on the Monday morning was when the new videos get put out, you literally could, over the weekend, lift the new videos, watch them and bring them back before they were even out on the shelf. Because they would arrive on the Friday.
I'm really nervous for playing it, and even though probably the majority of the audience have seen it, my nerves come from it.
Do you know how to beat it?
What
do you want me to tell you how to beat it? So that, right, first of all, you put a frame around it. You actually, I don't know if you've seen Cambion before, where
it's not copyright. No, YouTube are not taking it down for copyright.
No, I know, but like from the point of view of like them just removing it for the content, you put a frame around it, actually build like a frame and shrink it down ever so slightly so that it's got a border around it, and make the border something that's innocuous and also like randomly moves about. I could like throw something together for you so there's just like a repeating pattern of blobs and like bokeh or whatever just floating around the edge, because that'll trick the crap out of the bot that basically looks through the stuff. And as long as you stop every 2.5-3 minutes and sort of do commentary for a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, my issue is, why can you put a real autopsy on the platform of a human being, but you can't play a fake alien? And there's loads of fake autopsies on YouTube, just not that one. It's odd.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'll label the video over 18.
The other thing is,
I'll put a warning up first.
Yeah, but also,
but it's a fake alien, people. It's a hoax. Why can't it?
You know how you can pick like the channel, like educational or like film and animation and stuff like that. I think if you put it into like an educational,
I will
subject,
because it will be, because it's to discuss a hoax, the biggest hoax ever.
Yeah,
one of the biggest.
I think if you did that, I don't think they'll rip it down for it being an autopsy.
Am I right by saying it's the biggest hoax that has ever been done when it comes to the UFO community, aliens or whatever, anything? It's the biggest one.
Well, as long as Apollo's real, yeah. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is the biggest hoax. I mean, I'm sure Ant and Dec did a movie about it.
Yeah, and it was, but the prop compared to that was terrible.
Yeah.
Ant and Dec did a film, and
that was the last feature film that they did, as far as I know. No, they did a zombie film. Sorry,
the body that they recreated, actually, it looked similar to it, but you could just tell it wasn't the same. It was nowhere near the same.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's an alien, but
see, if it was faked in the UK, there's only 3 companies in the UK that would have the prop making experience to pull that off.
I want to know how much it would have cost back then as well.
Oh, I mean, you're talking easily 100 to 150 grand back then. You'd be talking well over $1 million.
I'm sure Ray until he made more than that.
Oh, he made bank on it big time.
Yeah.
I mean, they were renting it out for like £3.49 in Blockbuster back in the 90s, for God's sake, for one day rental.
It was mail. Yeah, it went to block. Yeah, because there was discussions with stuff like that, but originally it was done by mail order. Yeah. But Stu, we have come to the 2-hour mark.
Yes, time to wind it up for the night.
Can you tell people in the community what you do, where they can find you, and and I will say this: if you want to be a YouTuber or you want to start editing videos, head on over to Stu Little because he will teach you a thing or two.
Yeah, basically my channel is all about mobile video editing and filmmaking, mainly the video editing side of it, using an app called LumaFusion for iPhone, iPad, and now Android. They've got it out on Android now. And basically you can come over to my channel, which is just at I am Stu Little. If you want to find it on YouTube. Yep. And learn all about how to video edit. And we've got some cool stuff coming up just directly. Plus, I have a occasional series called Cut for Cut, where I break down scenes from movies. The last big one I did was Inglourious Bastards, the first scene with the German soldier and the Polish, I think it is, or Jewish guy, farmer dude, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm doing Heat as my next episode, the bank robbery scene and the gunfight in Heat.
I love that film.
Yeah, I'm going to break that down heavily. I've been doing a lot of research on it and sort of digging up a lot of information. And I'm kind of hoping there was 4 video film editors actually edited that movie up. And I'm going to try and get an interview because I'm restarting my own podcast soon. I want to try and get an interview with one of the film editors. But the problem is 2 of the guys are in their 70s now and the other 2 are probably too busy and too big to speak to me, but we'll see. We'll try. And
you're also making a documentary.
Yes, the Greer documentary, which will be next year sometime. I've got basically a crap ton of work to get out of the way by the end of February, beginning of March. And once I've got that done, I can then put a wee bit more time and effort into the Greer documentary. And hopefully it'll have a trailer out by Easter. But it's really weird because
you're not rushing it. You want to get it done right.
I want to get it done right.
And it's not 100% a hit piece, is it? You want to actually respect.
Yeah, I found out quite a lot now about his medical career, and I find that quite fascinating. Why would you? Like, the guy was, from what I can understand so far, a very successful trauma surgeon in an ER in a North Carolina hospital. And to jack all that in for UFOs, what was his thought process around it?
It was a big gamble.
Well, the thing is, in America, because they're not like us with the National Health Service, everything's private over there. Doctors make bank. They make some serious money. They get payoffs from pharmaceutical companies to use their drugs compared to other drugs and stuff like that. And he must have been making some decent money in the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. I think it was 98 he stopped being a doctor full time. So yeah, what's the reasoning behind that? That sort of interests me. Obviously, I want to debunk a certain amount of things relating to some of the stuff that he talks about, but I'm going to try and not make it a hit piece because I don't think that's fair to anybody.
But you are going to have interviews with certain people that he's mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I can easily say I'm trying to get a hold of Billy Gibbons. It was going to happen and it didn't happen, and it's been pushed back now. But I did find out that it looks like when he mentions Billy, he actually meant to say the other member of ZZ Top who's since passed away, which would have been more convenient because obviously the guy's dead, Dusty or whatever his name is. And he mentioned the one that's still quite alive and well and kicking. So I think that was a slip up on Greer's part, that he kind of landed himself in that. I don't know if he did go to underground base with Billy Gibbons, but we'll find out at some point. We'll wait and see. But it'll be interesting to see what the next documentary is going to be like that
Yeah, I'm
Face
looking.
guys are doing with him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. To be fair,
Because that must be due to come out in March or something.
Yeah, I think Gray's doing a documentary on his own as well. That he's funding right now.
Is that not the one that the Third Face guys are doing with him?
I don't think so.
No,
I could be wrong. I'll ask Blake and Brent if they're speaking to me.
Yeah, if they're speaking to
I'm
you.
sure
But
they
no,
are. I'm sure they are.
we should see. But thanks very much, dude. That was fun.
No worries, mate. No worries. I enjoyed it, and I look forward. Keep plugging your mate. We need to get him on.
I'll keep. I'll. Well, the thing is, he's one of these people that
invite him round for some beers.
He was a school friend, and when I ever come across him, we cross paths. We always have a good blether and a good chat. Like, you know, we only saw each other last week when it's actually been years and years and years. And I speak to him through Twitter, and I'm bending his ear. But the problem is, he obviously only has so many years left in the business.
Yep.
He makes a lot of money, and I think basically he's trying to make as much bank for his retirement because he wants to retire just over 50.
Well, that'd be nice for anybody. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. So from that perspective, I think that's why he's offshore all the time. But no, I'm going to see if I can get him on your show, because he's one of these guys that you can just listen to for hours and hours.
Brill. And guys, thank you so much, everybody, being here tonight. I really appreciate you all supporting the channel. If you're still here and you've not given it a thumbs up, it does help the algorithm. Give it a thumbs up. Tomorrow, I have a show on my other channel that I do with Lee. So if you are into gaming, this is what this is the thumbnail for tomorrow's show, which the channel is in the description below. It is called System. Yeah, that is just System
name
on its own. I can't believe it was available on YouTube, but it was.
I was quite shocked that you got it. I was like, wow, that's a bit of a.
I could not believe we got that name.
Yeah,
but it were there. Yes, it's just System in capital letters. If you type it in, it's not hit the algorithm yet, so you will not find it. It is in the description, and if you are into it and you want to watch it, then head on over. Have you got
clips of Hogwarts Legacy? Because I haven't really seen much.
We'll probably play some tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I'll watch, because it's definitely.
We're going to talk about the whole boycott that they're trying to do. You know, it's
right
as well, and so it's a little bit of drama, a bit like Alien, but we gaming.
Drama.
Yeah.
Right, okay, dude. I will catch you later.
Good night, God bless, and mind the bugs don't bite. Stew little people.
See you later, folks. Cheers. Bye. Bye.
Head on to Patreon if you want to support it anymore. You can do. I got a Patreon. It just helps out with the channel. You know, helps out with the StreamYard and all that jazz. And if you can become a channel member and get some Tic Tacs that you can place in the chat, that they don't pop up on StreamYard, but they do pop up on here. And I want to thank all my channel members. You are beautiful people, all 7 of you. But yes, you can get yourself some t-shirts on StreamYard. StreamYard? Teespring, that's the one. And if you help me hit 10,000 subscribers, YouTube will advertise them for me, and maybe I'll make more of them. But until then, I will say it again. Go. I think Goof on's live now. Good night, God bless people. Mind the bugs don't bite. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.